Alright guys, it is another week. Your girl is back at it. I am commuting to JFK now, to New York now, to start my work for June. So you guys have probably seen my schedule reaction for June, but I was able to move some flights, some trips around to have me start on 3rd June instead of 2nd June, which you probably saw from my reaction. So your girl is on her way to New York right now. As a commuter, I actually had to book 2 flights because I needed plan A and a plan B. Since my trip on the 3rd has me reporting at I think like 6:59 p.m. As a commuter, what we're required to is to have 2 flights, right? And the last flight or your backup flight should potentially get you to base 1 hour before your report time. So in my case, when I do fly out of Accra in the morning, I do arrive at JFK at 4:30 p.m. That puts me well over 2 hours before my report time. That way, I don't have to fly in 2 days prior, but rather I can fly in 1 day prior to my trip. So it kind of works out if everything goes well. I am commuting during the summer now because we're currently in June. So I don't know how it's going to be towards the middle of summer and then also during December when people are flying back and forth. But as usual, your girl books the jump seat. So I booked the jump seat, whether there's seats or not, I don't really care. Coming back from JFK to Accra last week or last 2 weeks, I actually did not get a seat at all. So yeah, I came last week. I didn't get a seat. So I had to use a crew bunk or crew rest. That wasn't bad at all. I kind of enjoyed it. But sometimes, depending on the crew working the flight, the vibe might be kind of off and they might not let you. They're not usually approachable. So I just feel the vibe and just feel the energy and see what it would be. But if I get crew rest, it's great. If I don't, I'm just going to take it as it is, okay? Because I booked the jump seat. So that's what technically I'm entitled to. So I'm not going to fuss or make a big deal. But yeah, let's go to work. I'll talk to you guys about my trip tomorrow. And then I'm thinking of upgrading it or doing like a move up so I can get an earlier report time once I get to New York. But I'm gonna keep it as it is just for legalities and trip protection or commuter protection's sake. So that's what I'm gonna do. But I'm just gonna go board now. Actually at the Accra airport, we have to go through 2 screenings. One for Ghana and then one for TSC, which is at the gate. So that's what I have to do now. And then once the crew shows up, because I booked the jump seat, I can actually board once the crew gets on board. That's the goal right now. It's honestly been an uneventful morning. Everything has honestly been pretty cool. So I'm just putting together my paperwork and documents and everything just to get myself sorted out. And then I'll head to the gate and then go through security. And then once I'm done with security, then I can just wait until the crew shows up so I can board. But that's one of the advantages of booking the jump seat is the fact that you can board immediately after the crew boards compared to regular standby where you honestly have to wait until everybody boards and then whatever seats are available are assigned to you guys. The other thing with jump seating is that the taxes and fees that you do pay is similar to doing regular standby. So it was $191.23. It's interesting because when I did this like 2 years ago, or even when I checked last year, it was $131. So it's gone up by about $60. And the same thing for also JFK. Coming from JFK to Accra was $11. Now it's $70.50. I don't know if it's because of the war going on or the fuel shortages and stuff like that, but whatever the reason may be, it's expensive now. It's about $260 just to commute round trip in and out of Accra to JFK. So that's the new update with regards to that. Starting this rotation, I'm going to the lounge right now. Let me sign into work because I'm not even signed into work to begin with. I'm not here, okay? I'm starting my rotation today. My report time is at 6 p.m. and it's currently like 4:20. So I have about an hour and a half before I have to sign in. I'm hoping this rotation goes better than the first one. I guess it is what it is. New York seems okay so far. I do work out of both airports, both LaGuardia and JFK. So today I'm flying out of LaGuardia. The trip I have following this, I was able to stack my trips back to back too. So I have another trip once I return from this. This is a 3-day domestic trip. The one after that is also 3-day domestic. The plan actually was to work 9 days, but I think looking at how things have been set up for me right now, I might just end up doing 6 days, go back home, and then I'll come back and then do 9 days towards the end of the month. But I was hoping to move something forward, but if not, I'll just stick to what I've got, and then I'll figure out July later. But aside from that, everything is pretty chill. This lounge is actually pretty cool, calm, and quiet. I can appreciate that. So yes, how's it being a flight attendant and creating content? It's not easy because I really don't know how to film in my crash pad because I feel like I'm sharing people's personal space, so you guys are probably not going to see that. However, oh, that's another plane landing. Let's catch that moment. Yay! Let's zoom in and get that bad boy. Oh, it's not super clear. I do have 19 hours in West Palm Beach, so I might step out a bit. I'm not promising anything. Let's just see how I feel. But let me see, what time are we getting in? We're probably getting in late, so you know how that goes. Right now, my focus is more so being able to move my schedule around so I can get the days off that I want, which is being able to work 1 week on and 1 week off. However, because I'm trying to do that more, I'm not getting the best trips. So I think moving forward, I'll probably just aim for international trips, or TOs as we might say in the industry, because that would give me like trips that have like 24-hour layovers and stuff like that I can actually document and show something, right? But I don't mind working domestic trips though. I really don't. It's cool. So yeah, that's what we usually do when we come to the hotel, guys. I have like disinfectant wipes that I use just to wipe things down. I just like to touch up just in case anything was missed, because one time your girl ended up in Tampa and that was a whole body print on my bed. So it was laid as you saw before I messed it up. But when I flipped the sheet over, there was a full body print staring at me. So I try to wipe down again just in case. Wipe things down here. Your girl was just trying to order room service. Initially, I was gonna meal prep and come along with my own food, and I still do, but I realized that as much as I spend a lot of time in Ghana, and I spend I think about equal amount of time in Ghana and in the US now, so when I bring my food from Ghana, I feel like I'm eating the same things over and over again. So now my plan is that I'll probably eat out when I'm here, or I'm gonna start ordering Factor, and then when I go home, I get to eat the food in Ghana. So if you've done Factor, please let me know in the comment section below, or like any pre-made meal delivery services. If you've used their services, please let me know. My fear is possibly them adding preservatives to the meals and stuff like that. So that's my biggest fear. From a cost saving perspective, I want to do Factor. So please share your thoughts about Factor in the comment section below. Let me give you a breakdown of today's trip actually. Let's talk about today's trip. So this is actually my third trip back ever since I went inactive and I'm back active, right? So for the month of June, you guys should have seen my schedule reaction video by now. I moved things around, so my schedule is definitely not what it was when you watch that video. That's one of the perks of this job, is our ability to move things around. So that's what I did. So essentially, I'm starting off I commuted to JFK yesterday. I flew out of Accra by 9:30 a.m. I arrived in JFK by 4:30 p.m. the same day. So the trip I had started today had a late report. So essentially, based on our commuter policy, I have to have a plan A and a plan B flight to get to work. The plan B flight should get me to base 1 hour before the start of the rotation that I have, or the trip that I have. The plan for me is to work 6 days straight. So I have a 3-day trip that starts June 3rd and ends June 5th. Then I have another 3-day trip that starts June 6th and ends June 8th. So we did LaGuardia to West Palm Beach, Florida. And then tomorrow I'm gonna do West Palm Beach, Florida to Atlanta. And then from Atlanta, we go to Albany, which is also in New York. And then on go home day, which is June 5th, I'm gonna do Albany to Atlanta, and then Atlanta back to LaGuardia, and then I'm done for that. So that's the plan. Our second layover is it's barely 12 hours. So if I don't get enough rest today or on this layover, I will be stressed out all the way till the end of this rotation. Plus, I have another trip right after the next day.
Girl is not going to be taking content creation seriously. My request is, those of you out there, I guess I'll probably have to use a community page to do this, but I want you guys to give me suggestions as to what I can do when I go to certain places. So what I'll probably do is that I'll probably try as much as possible to get my schedule figured out, and then I will just randomly share on my community page, or maybe through my shorts videos on my channel, and have you guys suggest some of the things I can do in those locations. I'm not necessarily going to state when I'll be going to those locations, but I'll just give an overview of my schedule, and then look over my schedule, see where the layovers are going to take me, and then I'll post those cities randomly, and then I'll have you guys tell me some of the things I can do at those layovers, because I want to explore as much as possible, and I want to take advantage of doing this job. Now I'm at the point where I think I'm gonna be capable of doing that without worrying about resting or working so many hours or stressing myself out, right? So I'm at the phase of being a flight attendant where I'm at the fun phase, right? Where I actually want to do things on my layovers, go out. I do also plan on picking up international trips as well, because those typically have 24-hour layovers. So that alone automatically gives me time to be able to go out and explore. Plus it's a new country, so I think I'll be more energized or more motivated to be able to go out and explore the city or the country. Which means you need to be subscribed to me, okay? Subscribe, okay? I have the fry and oh, that looks delicious. Taste test. The fries taste good, but I'm also very hungry, so I wish the fish batter had a little bit more salt to it. This is actually pretty good, guys, so see you in a bit. Rise and shine. The plan today was actually to step out, either go for a walk or get my financial transactions done or whatever, but unfortunately I overslept, and secondly, once I got up I realized that it was raining. Like, I'm not going out in the rain. I'm not trying to get sick, okay? I'm a commuter now. I cannot afford to be sick anywhere. That reminds me, I need to get into my vitamin taking and stuff like that too, just to make sure the body is doing what it needs to do. Today's day 2 of the 3-day trip that I started on June 3rd. And today I'm doing West Palm Beach to Atlanta, Atlanta to Albany, New York. I'm just gonna relax a bit, and then once it's time, we're gonna exit stage left, go do day 2. We're laying over in Albany, New York. I've never been there. Just stay with me, okay? Also, I wanted to talk about this actually. I know there might be a few of you that watch me and might be confused as to how, as a flight attendant, like the kind of trips that I work and how uneventful my vlogs potentially are sometimes. It's because if you're new here, ever since I became a flight attendant, right, I quickly realized that there is this expectation or perception about the job, right, where people assume that it's always glamorous. We're always going to these beautiful, luxurious layovers, you know. It's a glamorous job, I know, and it can be sometimes for the most part, but my mission was always to desensitize people of that notion, right?
to an extent. Fine, there are moments where you go to beautiful layovers, right? And that's the perk of the job, is your ability to fly to these places that you probably might have never gone to, not for this job, which I get. But I also love to always show people the uneventful side of it, the boring side of it, the real life of a flight attendant, like the actual real life of a flight attendant, not the glamorous, hyped, super hyped one, right? And that's why, for the most part, I do this vlog, so you people can see that I worked this 3-day trip. I had one flight yesterday. I laid over for 19 hours in West Palm Beach, Florida, but I didn't go anywhere. I was in my hotel room the whole time. I ate, I watched TV, I create content, so I recorded some content, and then I slept, woke up, showered, got ready for my next flight for today, right? So although I had 19 hours and I could have potentially gone out, I could have potentially watched the game yesterday. I think the Nixons were playing or whatever. I'm not a sports fanatic, so I could care less. But I just like to show people that it's not always that we go out and do fun stuff. It's not always that we're out exploring, right? A lot of the times, most flight attendants have to make that conscious effort to go out and do things. And think about it also, for the most part, I'm here by myself. Of course, I came in with a crew and everything, but people like to be by themselves. Like, I wanted to be by myself, right? So if you're not used to doing things by yourself, then this will be particularly hard for you, because you have to learn to be willing to go to places by yourself and do things by yourself. It's obviously fun if you get a crew member to go with you or somebody to do things with you, but for the most part, you might have to do things by yourself, you know? And it is what it is. But yeah, I just like to show you people the real tea. Like, I'm not always going to force myself to be out here doing things just to present a persona or a facade, but sometimes it's just gonna be us in the hotel room just eating room service or door dashing or Ubering food, Uber Eats or whatever, and just watching TV and just chit chatting. That can be real too. Oh my goodness, guys, we finally come to the end of my first 3-day trip. It felt like a very long time, but what I will say is that yesterday I was extremely tired. We came in from, I believe, Atlanta. So we did West Palm Beach to Atlanta, Atlanta to Albany, New York. So I'm in New York now. However, I'm not at my base. Well, technically I'm at my base because I'm in New York, but I'm not at my airport. So what we're doing today is that we are doing Albany to Atlanta. So we're going back to Atlanta, and then we're gonna do Atlanta back to LaGuardia in New York. So I was so tired yesterday, guys. Like, we only had 2 flights yesterday, but the last one, which was like blocked for like 2 hours and 4 minutes, felt like 4 hours. It felt like forever, guys. And it was just so long. I don't know, it was so exhausting. I was burnt out after that. Today is go home day. We love go home day, and yeah, this vlog has been uneventful, but your girl is trying her best. Okay, commuting for 10 hours just to get to work is a lot. So whenever I get here and I get on these trips, unless I have like a serious 24-hour layover, it's hard to really do anything. But I'm gonna try as much as possible to at least go for a walk or go out for fresh air and just spend the day outside with you guys, even if it's just for an hour or two. So I need to get out of my comfort zone and let loose. Okay, we're gonna lay low and let loose. But yes, I will see you all in Atlanta or probably in LaGuardia. Hi, okay, your girl is back. Okay, I think the last time you guys saw me was yesterday when I was finishing up a 3-day trip, right? But I was able to stack my trips back to back this time around. So I had a 3-day trip yesterday that ended yesterday, and then I had another one start today. I did JFK to Orlando and then Orlando to Boston. However, there's a story, there's a tea, but in the meantime, before I share that tea, let me get my stuff together. I literally just got in the hotel room, guys. So the story time is that we actually had this weird situation happen where a crew optioned off, right? Optioning off typically is when, let's say, a crew has overworked or based on the last flight they're about to work, if they proceed to work, they would essentially go over their duty day hours. And our duty day hours maximum is, I think, 15 hours in a minute. So if the potential last flight you're working is potentially going to put you beyond those hours, the crew essentially have the option to say, we're not going to work this flight, right? We were supposed to lay over in Boston, but in the middle, right before we landed, we got rerouted to work a flight to LaGuardia, okay? So upon getting rerouted, the information we received was that the crew that was supposed to work the flight from Boston to LaGuardia optioned off. I don't know what the legalities were with regards to their rotation and why they were choosing to option off. This flight from Boston to LaGuardia was taking them back to base because they're all New York based. So the fact that they wanted to option off kind of threw us off a bit, right? That's the first confusion. The other issue is that there's bad weather coming into Boston, right? I think it started from the New York area to Boston. So essentially, if you don't belong here or you don't live here, your goal should be to leave here, right? But the long story short of the situation is that the pilots were also going to time out. We got the reroute, so we're on our way to the gate, and all of a sudden we get met by the gate agent telling us that the plane is gone. And we're like, what do you mean the plane is gone? We're here to work the flight that the people optioned off on. So come to find out, guys, I think the captain insisted that they work the flight. So I don't know what the story is, but if anybody hears this story, please reach out to me in the DMs or in the comment section below, because I want to know the tea. Essentially, we had to go back to whatever our initial plans were, which was to lay over in Boston. But I've never seen this happen or heard this happen before, where people were trying to option off and then the pilots are like, no, we need to go. Because my issue, I'm still trying to figure out how come they were optioning off if it was only a turn that started at 1 p.m. But whatever the drama was, I want to know the tea, okay? Your girl wants to know the tea because I'm trying to figure out what the chaos was. And the worst part of it all was that because they decided to option off, we got rerouted, our hotel and everything got taken away, our schedules got turned upside down, only for us to get there and have it turn back up again. So in my mind, I'm like, so we went through all this chaos just for what exactly? Yeah, let me know the answer to that question. I want to know the answer too. But long story short, your girl is here and there's a storm. Oh, it's raining right now, guys. It's raining. There's actually a storm coming in. That's why I'm surprised they wanted to stay in Boston. The only thing that makes sense to me is if they live here, you know, or I don't know. It doesn't make, I don't get it. I don't know why they want to stay. If there's bad weather coming, wouldn't you want to get as close to base as possible if you live there? Oh my goodness. Whew. Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh my God. These short layovers are killing me. I need to figure out a strategy to get longer layovers. So I think I'm going to do a full month of like solely domestic trips. I do have reserve coming up. I made some bad swaps, ended up with, I will say, maybe more trips that I wanted because I was trying to do something and then it backfired essentially. So I had to essentially go back to factory reset, right? In my opinion, to be able to get someone for the most part to take reserve, because there are chances that they would not get used, whereas if you have a trip, you have a trip, so you're going to work regardless, right? So yeah, especially if they're senior enough, they'll be more willing to take those chances, because if they're senior enough, then they might not get used, right? Worst case scenario, if they're strategic enough or senior enough also, they can bid for like standby or whatever and be able to maybe do standby twice back to back, and then whatever the last day, I don't know. But the whole point I'm trying to make is that I ended up with 3 sets of 8 days on my calendar. So that's all I have left for the month. So 9 days of work. But I'm hoping that eventually maybe I might be able to swap out of some of them, if not all of them, for trips, but if not, I'll just suck it up, show up, do my time, and then just go home, right? I think I'm gonna do like a full good month, like what I'm doing right now, of domestic trips, just to get in the hang of things and just to, you know, get back in my groove. And then maybe starting from August, I might potentially aim to bid for some international trips that I can hold based on my seniority. Today's actually day 5 of my 6-day straight work long week, but day 2 of my second 3-day trip that I'm working. And today we're doing, where are we? We're in Boston. I think today we're doing Boston to Atlanta, and then we have a set, and then we do Atlanta to Louisville, Kentucky, I believe. But the layover there too is also under 12 hours. This one was under 13. That one is under 12. So it's like, oh my goodness, this is just too much. In Seattle, the minimum hours that I worked was 19 hours. If I did 18, that was because I don't know what happened, but I was aiming for 20, 21, 22, 18, like cool. 17, 16, 15, 14. I didn't even know 14 existed. Not okay, maybe I do, but I was very passive to it because yeah, it is what it is. But as a commuter, me trying to figure out how best to work my schedule, I honestly don't have a choice at this point. So I'm gonna use at least the first 3 to 6 months to figure out, work a lot of different stuff, see what will help me out and stuff like that. I just can't wait to be off of reserve. I feel like reserve is the most restrictive thing ever, because even when you have reserve and you have to swap out of it, a lot of the times you end up with trips on days that you really don't want, and maybe those days would be hard. It would be hard to get out of those days as well in terms of swapping with the system. So it's the worst, okay? Even though it's only 6 days, but it's 247 for 6 days, okay? 246, 24 hours a day, 6 days. But I'm not gonna complain. I'm gonna, you know, take it as it is. But worst case scenario, I think what I'm gonna do moving forward is that I'm gonna focus on just keeping my reserves together and keeping my trips together. That will be my goal. I'll see you all when we get to where we're supposed to get to, okay? God, friends. So I lost the footage for the rest of this vlog, but eventually I ended up in Atlanta, and then I ended up in JFK. I did my time. I laid over in Louisville, which you're all about to see the hotel room tour. It was a really cute, beautiful hotel. I really love the setup of the hotel. The customer service was a little wonky for me, but we're not gonna complain, okay? We're just gonna stay positive, right? But once I laid over here on day 3, I did Louisville to Atlanta, Atlanta back to JFK, and your girl finally ended the trip at JFK and commuted back to Accra. See you all in the next video. Bye-bye.